Hello, Guys, hello, Amoras, Hello, Amoras, everyone. Welcome to Harry Potter and the Boys, a fan fiction podcast by me, Radio Mike. Sorry for that false start. I'm joined by Luke and Lewis of the Luke and Lewis Show. Boys, welcome.
Thanks for having us here.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for having us in our own place.
Yes, this is their studio that I have driven to. But the reason for that false start and all that laughter was because just as I was starting, Lewis held up a picture on his phone of just a naked sort of fat guy and doing a mirror selfie, but his penis was just cut off by like the mantle of the bathroom.
Yeah. It was a lewd pic. It wasn't a nude.
Yeah.
It was so unexpected.
It was.
that I just
it was a jarring start to like a Harry Potter podcast.
Yeah, man. And that's what you can expect this episode. The unexpected.
Great.
There's one thing you can expect from me, and that's the unexpected.
Is that from
Do you know that
TikTok?
TikTok?
I just go on.
It's a viral
I go on
international
I'm over
super
it.
spy.
I go on TikTok, post and leave. That's how I do the acting.
Yeah, I love
good.
TikTok. I love. Anyway, this is a Harry Potter podcast. Luke, thoughts on Harry Potter in general?
I mean, this is like my 4th episode, and every time I'm like, yeah, man, big fan. Actually, really popular franchise, and I too enjoy it.
Lewis, how have you indulged in any Potter recently?
Honestly, my thoughts are let it go, guys. It's over. Let it go.
Well,
This is a man that's clinging on, right?
You guys are in
and everyone watching.
You guys are entering your mid to late 20s. It was a great book series.
It really was.
I loved it. I read it all throughout primary school. It's what made me fall in love with the reading.
It really
great
trumps
series.
Skullduggery Pleasant.
Great series.
I've heard good things about Skullduggery Pleasant.
Ended with book 7.
Yes.
And the plays never happened. Neither did the movies. They're not real. You imagine them, and we should all together forget them.
But this is the natural continuation of the books.
Everyone wants to cancel J.K. Rowling for her transphobic tweets. I reckon we cancel her for that cursed child play.
Yeah.
It's over.
So worse.
You nailed it.
I disagree.
Let it leave with a win.
I think it's like other pop culture, like the Beatles, where it can stand the test of time. It's the Elvis of magic.
The cursed child
Elvis
can't
of
stand
books, do you mean?
Yeah, I guess. The Elvis of magical books.
So
yeah, but Elvis didn't come out with a bunch of other things. Like imagine if Elvis, like 20 years after his first ever smash hit single, he came out and was like, oh, by the way, that song's gay.
He was like the hound dog. He sucked dick the whole time.
Yeah. Is your Elvis impression, by the way?
That song's gay.
My Elvis impression is just eating myself to death and then I have a heart attack.
What did Elvis even sound like that, or is that what
did a little
Simpsons made him sound like?
No, he did a bit, but just you also did finger guns. He
did that, didn't he?
No.
Dude, that was like a Greg the Wiggle impression.
Yeah,
like that you were wiggling.
You might as well been like, by the way, hot potato.
Yeah.
No, great. You've both been on the pod before. Lou, you were on very early. Do you remember anything about the chapter you were on at all?
A lot of really graphic sex scenes.
No, though every time you've done this, you make those up. There's no sex in this book series. Do you remember anything about your chapter?
Agree to disagree. I remember what happened.
I think it was your chapter was triple potions, and it was when they went to Hagrid and he went, "You better go to potions now."
Yeah, that's right. They kept leaving class. Their class finished and they would leave, and then they kept getting sent back, and it turned out to be 3 potions classes. Also, it seems to be almost every chapter a character gets introduced out of nowhere and then killed almost immediately.
That happens a lot.
And no one reacts.
And can you do "You better go to potions" in Elvis voice?
By the way, you better go to potions. Also, potions is gay.
I think we should cancel Hagrid.
Yeah, I think so.
Luke, you've been on twice. This is you.
I feel like
Lewis just flashed the photo of the naked guy again.
By the way, that guy's gay.
Luke, you've been on twice. What were you going to say?
The last one was with Meg. That was pretty recently. Or maybe it
was
wasn't.
a few months ago
I don't know.
now.
I'm pretty busy. My life flies. I thought that was 2 days ago.
Yeah. I've moved house since then. I'm doing it out of a different house now.
Last time the boys were going to like the ball and there was someone got murdered. A teacher.
Oh, it was the teacher's
happened different
dance.
chapter.
It was the
Teacher's
teacher's dance party. Yeah. The staff
They
dance
went to the
party.
staff school party. They snuck in and then someone got murdered at the party.
Yeah, that was the disastrous staff dance party. And your first chapter, I think, was the eventful ride on the Hogwarts Express or something like that.
Well, I think they're in Diagon Alley.
Oh, yeah. His was Diagon Alley. So here's we just so you know, we're up to chapter 28 today. So we're nearly at the end of this book 1 of 7.
You didn't do much as a kid.
What fucking blows my mind is that there's more books.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. 28 chapters, that's pretty big. And then I remember you telling me.
And this is the shortest one.
Hang on. So you're going to keep this podcast going?
I guess so.
Hang on,
We
so
might as well get through
is this
all the
book
books.
1?
This is book 1 of 7.
There's 7
Over
books.
about 2 years, I
Dude,
wrote
this
this
was my
series.
reaction. He wrote 7.
Yeah, because he was trying to
Do
directly
the same
parody
as, yeah.
J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
But how old were you when you wrote book 7 then? Did you write them
It was
as the
I
books
think
came
it was
out?
Can you start being a biggot on Twitter? Because you're not really like continuing the,
No,
the J.K. Rowling
It
arc.
was over like from year 7 till like the start of year 9, I think I was writing. I used to send it to my friend Lockie, and he would just, and there's a character called Lockie in the book,
And
but I
he
used to
would read
send
it.
it over MSN. Yeah,
What-
there was an audience of one. He still
what-
listens to this
What a
podcast.
massive in-joke.
It's funny.
You know, this is literally just, even this podcast itself is just a joke for Lockie to listen to.
Because a lot of the characters in the book and the teachers, the original characters, are based on people we went to school with. So it used to be.
He probably like listens to this podcast and goes, I remember this great chapter.
Yeah. A lot of it.
So most characters are based on real life. So
Well,
does that mean
a
that-
lot
that,
of the
like-
original characters are, yeah.
Right, so that would mean that every time you're at school and someone pisses you off, you go, fuck, you're dying.
You're in a chapter. It's like the Death Note, except no death. I just write them into a book.
Yeah, death in your notes.
So
Yeah,
more
death
of
in my
a
notes.
book.
Just a book, yeah. I'll fill you. Oh, a phone call.
who
Should
is
we
it?
take it on the show, or should we just? Who is
Is it
it?
Hagrid?
It's Meg, but I know it's going to be about business. Like,
Okay,
it's
yeah,
not going to
yeah,
be like
sure.
a fun personal call.
Well, in that case,
Should we ask Meg what her thoughts on Harry Potter are?
no, because she's been on an episode, and I want to get her on another one. We should say. I should fill you in on where the book is at, because obviously a lot's happened. Lots
Yeah.
of potions classes, obviously, Lewis. But
Speaking
essentially,
of, isn't it time for potions?
we better go. Elvis, is it?
By the way.
He
Elvis?
died, didn't he?
So the boys' mean potions teacher, Mr. Charger, is scheming against the school.
Mr. Charger, he's new.
He's planning on. No, he was there. I think he was in your. He's the potions teacher.
I was not
He was
paying
definitely
attention.
in your chapter.
Yeah,
He is,
that was the guy that kept having all the orgies.
no. He's scheming against the school. He is. It is now June 8th in the year.
You know, you just reminded me of then. I'm sorry to interrupt again.
Yeah.
Tom Gleisner when Sam Pang and Ed are getting a bit out of hand.
No.
And he just goes, no, and he keeps the show moving. It was really good.
Thanks, mate. I should get him on the show. And on June 8th, he has schemed to meet Boris Mailman, a father of a student dragon mail boy, right? He's said he's going to meet.
His first name Dragon, last name Mailboy.
Yeah. And his father is Boris Mailman.
Yep.
And he is got.
Last name's very different.
Yeah. They have different last
You
names.
didn't think about that one,
Not sure. But they are going to meet in a place called the SR and finally end things. That's his words.
What's the SR?
We found out at the end of last chapter with Dave Ferrier, Radio Dave, you remember him,
Yeah.
obviously, right? SR is the secret room.
Okay.
SR.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we pick it up today. Any questions before we jump into the fanfic?
None that I wouldn't usually have, other than why does this exist? But I'm happy to be here. But yeah, let's jump into it.
Lewis, do you have any?
I want just a rough estimate off the top of your head. There's 6 other books after this.
Yeah.
Correct? So these episodes are weekly.
Yeah.
So this podcast goes on for how long?
Probably like 5 to 6 years if people keep listening, I guess. If there's 30 chapters per
Just
book.
clinging on to that Harry Potter.
But
so on completion, how old are you?
32 maybe.
Get over it.
Can Elvis tell us to get on with the fan fiction?
Read the book.
Okay.
By the way,
the
I'm gay.
the laptop is next to you, and we'll take in turns reading. Lewis, it's next to you. It might be locked, so I might need to come over and.
No, it's open.
No, no, sorry. The actual computer might be locked. I'm just going to put my fingerprint in. You can see it there. Maybe read a page and then pass it over to Luke, and we'll go from there. Don't manifest anything that's not on the page. That's important, Lewis. So,
Well, I've never done that.
well, you do it frequently. So just read what's on the page. You don't have to embellish, and anything
And
that.
remember, don't derail the podcast because not everything's about you.
I've never done.
Okay?
I've never done.
It just seems like you're going to go down that path, and I
Yeah.
agree with you.
Yeah.
I've never derailed this podcast.
Okay.
All loyal
Good. So
listeners.
keep it that way.
Elvis
every
said you've derailed
regular
the
listeners
podcast.
of whatever this podcast is called will know that I never derail it. What is
Okay.
this called?
Harry Potter and the Boys.
Glad to be here.
A fan fiction.
Chapter 28.
Here
The
we go.
Secret Room. This is it, said Rob. What's it? Said Michael, not sounding like an idiot, but simply curious about it. Self-conscious.
Stop.
Real self-conscious. Like, oh, if
No.
I ask a question, I better clarify that not in a dumb way.
But he didn't say I'm not sounding like an idiot. That's a descriptive, isn't it? The quotation mark's finished there, I
No,
believe.
he didn't say that. It's just like you, the author, clarified that Michael, the character, said, what's it? Like in a cool way?
The author of the book regularly is like, oh, blah, 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 said Luke in an idiotic way to make sure the reader knows the characters are idiots. So Michael is not an idiot. So it's good good that we know that.
Okay, that's good.
and thanks for reinforcing it. For
Yeah.
that 7
Well, you need to
books.
know.
Are you an idiot?
No.
Okay. all right.
By the way.
You should maybe say that somewhere. The Secret Room, SR. This is what Mr. Charger has been talking about. That is where we need to go to stop him murdering everyone in the school with his evil plans.
Okay.
But before we do that, said Michael, we have to kiss in the pit of flame.
It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that.
Oh, no, it says we have to get past the pit of flame.
The pit of flame is a big lake of fire that is separate. That is the last barrier between. This is kind of like the end of the first Harry Potter, where they're going through all the chambers and doing all the tasks. This is the last one.
The second Harry Potter.
No, it's the first one. When they're going to find the Philosopher's Stone, they do like the chess match and the Devil's Snare. This is sort of where we're at.
Yeah, okay. So there'll be an underwhelming ogre fight.
No, probably not, but we might find out.
That was Shrek.
Speaking of Shrek, you kind of look like human Shrek.
Actually, funnily enough, Shrek and Harry Potter are probably the only two franchises with ogres and dragons.
Now who's
They
derailing
don't actually
the show?
have ogres in Harry Potter, do
They're
they?
derailing the show. They're not even,
I don't know. They have giants.
Yeah, giants.
Do they have ogres? Someone write in.
not even listening to me. I'm trying to read this book and they've derailed it.
All right,
And then
next.
they, and then they gaslit me and said I was derailing it. That's abusive behavior. The boys stopped and started breathing in the air as the fiery pit in front of them bubbled up lava. It was quite scary, but suddenly a stench filled the air. The disgusting but hilarious smell of farts. Stinky farts.
It doesn't say that. It doesn't say
It
this.
literally says the disgusting but hilarious smell of farts. Stinky farts.
I love.
What's funny is often when you hear a fart, you laugh at the sound.
Yeah.
No one's ever gone. Oh.
No, I think part of the funniness of a fart is the stench. Because you're like, oh, that fucking stinks, Damo. Like, oh, fuck, Damo, you
true.
dog.
I really disagreed, but you're right.
Like, the sound is funny, but the smell is the lingering comedy.
Trapping your friend in a room is pretty good.
Yeah. All right, so there's a smell of farts in the air.
Now before this,
Stinky farts.
Have you read ahead?
yeah, I've read ahead. Just sorry, and I shouldn't have because I've spoiled one of the greatest one-liners in the history of comedy.
Okay, this sounds good.
Oh my god, said Rob. This smells like the dark farts.
So, if you've been reading along, you know that in the magic world now, not only is there the dark arts, there's also a subgenre of dark arts, which is the dark farts. So they teach defense against the dark arts / farts. So Rob says this must be the dark farts, not just the regular farts or light farts.
So there's your regular farts, which is your average day too.
Yeah.
But the dark farts is more like following through.
No, I think there's like,
Is it called a poo-trunus? To get rid of
maybe,
them?
but I think the dark farts are like cursed magic.
Wingardium Levio farts. That's a dark
That's
fart.
a dark fart.
That's real
Yeah.
dark. You can even, if you listen to this, you can kind of tell it was recorded in the dark. Definitely a lights off vibe.
What's next? Luke?
Something very bad is happening here. boom, boom, boom. I assume that's like supposed to be a sound effect.
Yeah. It's I think it's just
the floor.
maybe.
It says the floor on which they were standing on had split in the middle. The boys looked down onto the large crack in the ground. A lake of fire lay below and would surely burn them to death if they landed on it.
Now, do you think the crack in the ground is like
I think it's a metaphor.
a metaphor for a bum crack, and it's like it's like the dark mark. It's the dark fuck.
I don't think. I don't think you would.
Oh, fuck.
That clever.
Yeah, I don't think you were
Neither do
thinking
I.
about like the themes at the time.
It's
of, like,
reminiscent of an asshole.
Yeah, it's a big pit of fire. The crack in the ground.
You must have had curry.
Maybe. Yeah.
Suddenly, this book, which up until this point was pretty low key and just a little bit of funny moments, was seriously starting to look dangerous for the boys.
So that's
fourth wall
Fourth
breaking.
wall break mid-paragraph. You don't even do a new paragraph.
So that's like if J.K. Rowling was like, all right, I mean, Professor Quirrell was there, and suddenly this book, which was just a
This
bit of
book
fun
is
magic,
heating up.
it's getting dangerous for Harry.
Yeah, who's this Voldemort bloke?
Yeah, let's find
Content
out.
warning, book's going to get scary.
Yeah, now this is worrying for the boys.
Come on, guys, I'm going back. This isn't funny, said Sam. He walked to the door and left.
Sam obviously not impressed with the smelly but hilarious smell of farts,
Yep.
which is interesting.
As the door shut, the boys heard of the sound of a huge fart. Huge being in all capitals. Yeah, so that level of flatulence.
That's so stinky, said Michael. I assume laughing because the funniest part of the fart is
hilarious.
the smell.
So they're in a room with a fire lake.
And they all just care about a fart.
The ground is collapsing in front of them, and it stinks of farts.
Imagine if Frodo and Sam were just laughing about farts in Mordor. It's pretty much the same scenario.
That would be us.
Remember when they're going to rescue Princess Fiona in Shrek? Donkey thinks the smell of the lava is farts.
If it was me,
sulfur.
you'd be dead.
Now, I always had a bone to pick with that because in Shrek 2, Shrek does do a fart and no one dies. I always found that interesting.
I think it was a bit of a joke.
Hyperbole.
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 Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Did you lie to me?
No.
Okay. That's so stinky, says Michael. I know, but we have to deal with the smell and go forward or leave. And I'm going forward. I don't want to risk any murders, said Rob. The crack in the ground is getting bigger. Dangerous music played in the background. It's a movie now.
This
It's
also
a script.
sets the scene. But also dangerous music.
Yeah.
What's that, like Michael Jackson or something?
I don't know, maybe
He had an album called Dangerous.
A violin played with a
I
gun.
thought you were going down a different path.
No, it was
with
a
that
double
joke.
on.
There are boys in here. Dangerous music played in the background, except every instrument in the song was a fart.
So that's like, if it was like Bad by Michael Jackson, it's like, yeah.
Dangerous music played in the background, except every instrument in the song was a fart. The boys had to jump over the crack to get to the door to the secret room. Whatever you do, don't fart, said Michael. We have to jump it. You first, Lockie, said Rob. Why me? Asked Lockie. Because, said Rob. Why? Said Lockie.
So they're in this dangerous scenario where like the floor is collapsing in front of him, and Rob's like, Lockie, you go first. And Lockie's like, why should I go first? You go first. He doesn't want to do it.
Yes.
What did that add? I thought you were going somewhere with that, but you were like, so here's what Lewis just
I don't know, I
read, but
just
in a
wasn't
different
sure
way.
if Luke got it.
What's there not to get?
I don't know.
I think you should apologize
So
to
it
Luke.
is
He's
okay.
not
So
that
it's good.
simple.
It's good
I'll
writing.
be honest,
then.
I didn't understand the hyperbole. What was the other word?
Hyperbole.
Hyperbole. I didn't notice that mistake, but I did understand the book.
Okay, sorry, guys. Sorry.
We're running out of time. Just jump, said Rob. So what Rob did there was he said, we're running out of time. And then after that, he said,
He
just
was
jump, 'cause
conscious
he's
of the
trying
time.
to hurry everyone up so that they jump.
because he's conscious of time.
Because before that, Lockie and Rob
saying-
were arguing about
who
whether
would
or
jump.
Yeah.
Oh.
We were
Get
here.
that, Luke?
We
Yeah,
were
now
here
I
for
do.
we were here, Lewis. We know
Something
what
smells
happened.
hilarious. The crack continued to get bigger and bigger. The fart smells were stinkier and stinkier. The dark farts were hard at work.
Don't you think stinky is a funny word?
It is a pretty funny word.
God, it's so stinky.
Yeah.
I love how big the font is that was the whole page.
Yeah. 2 sentences.
Where are we at?
This is like when your teacher goes, you need to write like a 10-page essay. So you put in like, what's the size font we're working on here? 24 point?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Where
are we?
We're in the Luke and Lewis studio.
No, you've scrolled so far down.
No, I just...
Oh, yeah. Cool,
Yeah.
cool. Wait. No, you've scrolled really far down, man.
Mate, one scroll will
You
take
scrolled
you
a
6
whole
chapters
page
in this
down.
book.
The dark farts were hard at work.
Stick it. We're here.
Okay,
Here we are.
Well, why don't you go first, said Lockie. This isn't the time to argue. Just jump, said Rob. Well, all right, but I don't see why I have to be first, said Lockie. Fine, then I'll go first, said
What's
Rob.
happening here? Can someone explain it?
No, we get it. Everyone gets it.
It's a 2-page argument on who's going to jump first.
In a dire situation, this dangerous fart music playing.
This whole time. While I read, can someone please do the dangerous fart music to set the tone? No, I'm happy to go first. I'm just curious as to why you chose me to go first. Well, I'm going to go. We're running out of time. No, I'm going to go, said Lockie as he jumped.
So he's changed his mind pretty quickly after
This reminds me of I'm imagining Anakin and Obi-Wan in like you are the chosen one.
I have the high ground, Anakin. Yeah, it's a
but
bit
they're
like
just
that.
you go first. No, I will go first.
No, but it's more
But
like...
it's Jewel of the Farts playing in the...
But it's also more like, you go first. And it's like, well, I don't get why I have to go first.
It is I would say it didn't have to go for a page.
Yeah, it did, but it has.
He took a large run up and made it safely to the other side of the crack in the ground. Derek went next and made the distance
Where the fuck
easily.
did Derek come from?
Has Derek been here the whole time?
Derek's just been silent in the corner,
giggling at
sniffing
the
all the
farts.
farts.
I love that in most books, if a character's silence, you'll just be gently reminded that they're still there. In this book, like he could have teleported in and you just didn't even say anything.
A lot of people who listen to this are speculating that Derek might be in cahoots with Mr. Charger. In the last chapter, he said that his bum was his most powerful weapon. Ooh. So they believe he might be involved in the dark farts.
It's like in the classic book series, My Bum Went Psycho.
The Day My Bum Went Psycho,
Is the bum kisser on our side or the side of the bum?
Yeah, who knows? One thing's for sure, though, the bum is going psycho.
One thing is for sure, both are great pieces of modern literature.
Yeah.
Derek went and made the distance easily. Suddenly, ... Ooh, I'm on the edge of my bloody seat. Boom, boom, boom.
More booms.
The crack in the ground grew larger. Now it was more than 100 meters long. That's more than a crack. That's a crater.
That's a chasm.
That's a...
Ravine.
100 meters.
A canyon even.
Yeah, that's probably a canyon.
Yeah.
Because, okay. So now they have to jump across a 100-meter gap.
And guys, what you heard there were synonyms.
And what is interesting is they were all arguing, I don't want to go first, but really they should have been arguing who goes first because now it's a 100-meter long jump.
There's no way.
The world record for long jump for men's, and these are schoolboys, is about 8 meters.
Yeah, wow.
So I don't know how they're going to...
But they are magic boys.
Okay, that's true. Okay, said Michael. So none of them are muggles?
No,
Any
they're
of
all...
them half-bloods?
Yeah, there's a couple half-bloods.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to jump now. I can make it. Optimistic from Michael.
100 meters. Yeah. I think the author of this just didn't understand how far 100 feet is.
100 meters is a lot. But 100 meters sounds like a lot.
Yeah, it does. Like this room is like probably from there to there is like 10 meters.
Yeah.
Max.
Yeah, we're doing really well.
Yeah. Good
he
stuff,
took
guys.
as much of a run up as he could get, closed his eyes and jumped across. It seemed like the world was going in slow motion and then crash.
Pass.
Oh, wow. That's
Tag out.
Suspenseful.
So
Suspenseful.
He's crashed somewhere.
Crash.
Well, you'd assume into the canyon.
Yeah, you assume he's dead because he would have gotten a tenth of the way
There was
across.
a pit of fire below him.
Okay. Crash. He had made it.
Huge jump.
He's jumped across a 100-meter chasm
And
with his
not-
eyes closed.
And not reference that he used magic at all.
Yeah.
But just.
Okay.
Are we maybe thinking it's 100 meters long? Maybe it's only like a foot wide.
And 100 meters like
Long.
No, oh,
vertical.
deep, right? Yeah, possibly, but I don't think so.
The way it said the crack grew larger, and I'm pretty sure it said it was 100 meters wide, didn't it?
Yeah,
Oh, it did? Okay,
Yeah,
well
I
then,
think it was
Specified width.
this man didn't even try jumping
But-
before he wrote this.
this is 50 years in the future, right?
Yeah.
So you know how like
Do you
eventually.
reckon they've changed units of measurement?
No, but I think eventually someone will break the 8-meter record. Like that could be
by
at the
It's
It's
probably
92
like,
meters?
honestly, man,
Possibly.
I've got, honestly, I think I just realized, I think I used to almost do 6 or 7 meters. It's
Yeah.
probably like 14 meters. I have no
Yeah,
idea.
I reckon it's like 14. So like it's
100.
in 50 years, I reckon people will be jumping like 100 meters
100
forward
meters.
In long
Maybe.
jump.
with a run up. Yeah, 50 years
With a run up.
How are they going to
with
get
the
so
right
much height?
shoes. With the right shoes.
If
for
they're on the
Trampoline.
moon, if they're on the moon,
Yeah.
lower gravity,
Yeah. The first Moon Olympics. They're going to break a few world records.
absolutely.
the moon Olympics.
yeah.
He had just made it, but just. He had rolled his ankle. It made a fart sound as it broke. His ankle. Are you okay? Asked Lockie. I think so, said Michael as he hobbled along on the ankle. This fart smell is getting overwhelming. I can't breathe, said Lockie. Okay, Rob, jump, yelled Michael. Rob took a run up and jumped across bravely, but he didn't make it and died.
It does not say that.
Just joking.
Wait, what?
He didn't make it and died. Just joking. I'm not joking.
What a
Whoever
fake
wrote the
out.
book is.
That's like in the Simpsons movie where it goes to be continued immediately in the middle of the movie.
Just a fake out.
Yeah, just a fake out.
But usually authors don't put that in their books because, like,
At least you'd want a chapter, the end of the chapter there. So
Well,
there's
a
some.
cliffhanger is like he jumped across, and then the chapter ends.
Or like he jumped
rather
across.
than-
It didn't look like he was going
sure.
to
And a
make it.
joke is like
It's
is like a
funny.
setup and a punchline and is intended to be humorous.
Yeah.
That was just like a lie.
And
And then
like,
was like, nah, I'm not lying.
joking around.
Immediately
How
followed
funny
up
would
with
that be?
just joking, all in bold on the same page, no different paragraph. Just
Yeah.
just joking.
Yeah.
He
God.
so
Because isn't Rob like a main character?
Yeah. Well, him and Michael.
Rob took a run up and jumped across bravely, but he didn't make it and died. Just joking.
Thank God.
He didn't make it, but he was able to grab hold of the side of the crack.
Okay, so he got 98 or 99 meters and just put his arm out.
Really confusing though that you're like just joking, kind of
Because he didn't make
joking
it.
about the death part, but the other part was being deadly serious
Just
about.
joking, but I'm also joking about me joking.
Yeah.
He was able to grab hold of the side of the crack. Hold on, yelled Lockie. Petrificus totalis, one of the men.
Petrificus totalis, that's the spell. That,
Petrificus totalis, one of the men with black hats had appeared and had used the full body bind on Lockie. Lockie was on the floor motionless and the man ran away.
Mr. Charger has a bunch of cronies working for him that wear black hats.
But
That's one of them.
they were like, were they always there, or did
guess
they
so.
appear out of nowhere?
I
Because it
don't know.
doesn't say if how they appeared or
He
if they
just
were there the whole
appeared.
time.
He was behind a
What
curtain.
does that spell do?
It just binds your whole
It
body.
petrificus
you
is
just
you
like
totalis
your
body. Yeah, petrify, total petrify.
Yeah, totalis.
Is that an actual
petrificus
spell
is
from
you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that one was called stupefy.
No, that stuns you. Doesn't petrify you, just a stun. We doing a laptop pass?
Why does it have the time at the bottom of every page?
Because that's a footer that was on the original thing, so it just says the current time.
So is this? Does this mean that? Does it all say the same time on every page, or do we get really see how
What's-
long it took you?
No,
to-
it's
No,
just the
it's just
time
the
now.
current time.
Oh, the
Whatever the
time
current
now.
time on the document is.
Well, guys, if this adds anything to the book, it was written at 2:24 p.m.
Oh, so it's not the current time. Because
No.
right now it's like 5 o'clock.
I think it's the time that it was written.
Oh, that's so weird.
2:24. So you're doing this in school.
It could have been a weekend.
Wow.
Where are we up to?
No, but all of the footer,
2:24 p.m.
all the footer say 2:24.
Yeah, okay. I don't know.
Okay.
Bit of a detour, guys.
Sorry, guys.
You were right, Mike. I completely derailed it. Now we're talking
So
about time.
the man in the black hat ran away.
Yeah.
Grab my hand, yelled Michael, but Rob ignored.
Rob and Michael have been fighting for the last half of the book, so Rob's angry at him.
He was still angry at Michael. This isn't funny, Rob. You could die. I don't need your help, Rob struggled to say. You do, yelled Michael. No, I don't. Dots in between them. Yep.
Power of friendship coming through here, I think.
Rob said, still struggling. Stop this, Rob. Let me help you, in all caps. Screaming.
It's getting dire.
Assuming still dangerous farts playing in the background. Yeah. Let me help you, Michael screamed. No, Rob said. You're slipping. Just grab my hand now. Oh, God, this is so dramatic.
This is dramatic.
Michael yelled. No, said Rob, and his fingers began to slip. We have to work together, yelled Michael. Rob's hand slipped. Ah, screamed Rob. Or should I do it more realistically?
Whatever.
Ah. and then, ow, screamed Michael. He had bent so far to get Rob that his back had split in half. Wow.
As in by the bone? Or
I
like,
think
Wait,
so.
so did he bend backwards?
No, I think he like
him?
bent
He
over
bent
like
forwards.
that
Yeah,
I
down
think
the
he's
chasm.
trying to get his hand.
He's trying to grab him. Sort of like
he
a
left his legs up the top of the ledge.
It's like a Mufasa and Scar kind of sitch,
Yep.
except he's trying to save him and he's leant down and he's broken his back.
Yeah.
Split in half.
Split it
Not
in
even
half.
broken
It's
the back.
Totally,
It's
yeah.
split. Blood was dripping from it. He pulled Rob up and fell to the ground, writhing in pain. The pain was horrible, and he began to cry.
He wouldn't be able to pull anyone up, and there would be no pain.
No. And where's the blood? I guess his whole torso has just ripped
Maybe
off.
it's coming out of his ass.
Oh my God, that was really a dramatic page.
Well,
Not a lot of laughs there,
no.
but a lot of drama.
a lot of drama, and sometimes that's what the book is. Lewis.
The pain was horrible, and he began to cry. You saved me. And all this time, I've been so. Rob stopped. Don't bother. I'm sorry too, said Michael.
So
This is their reconciliation.
this is the reconciliation, and all it took was Michael to
his
break
back
his
in
whole
half.
torso in
Michael,
half.
That'll do it.
oh, don't bother. I'm sorry too, said Michael. Michael, I forgive you, said Rob. And then the two leaned in and shared a passionate kiss.
I don't think that's written.
A real left turn.
I don't think that's written.
Rob inserted his tongue in Michael's mouth. Michael
These are
started to
children,
become
Lewis.
erect.
Yeah.
No, these are children.
Michael said, I've never felt this way about a man before.
I'm pretty sure Mark's gonna come and tweet this stuff.
Go back to where it actually says what it says.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. No, you're right. I made all that up. Rob inserted himself. Oh, no,
No,
hang on,
okay.
hang on. What are we going to do about your back? Asked Rob. I can still go with you, said Michael nervously. Blood was pouring out of his back. Where though? Like what? What do you mean out of his back? Like a.
I'm wondering if it's like there was actually like the skin on the left and right of his back was so tensed by the bend over.
Okay.
that the skin has torn.
That's very
open.
cartoon.
Yeah.
I
And, like,
see that.
Yeah, I think it's more that as opposed to like the bone.
Not like his spine.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, well, I have a question after I read this. I
Okay.
can still go with you, said Michael nervously. Blood was pouring out of his back, dripping onto the ground. The smell of farts protruded the entire area. Protruded, not a word. Where are the farts coming from?
It's the dark farts.
So just from wands?
I guess so. I think I think
Is
the
it
dark.
an aura?
Yeah, I think it's just like, you're in if you're in the shower and you do a fart, we've all been there.
Yeah, it just protrudes the
Really
entire
steamy fart kind of smell. I think that's what they're experiencing.
room. Yeah, okay.
Protruding is a word, by the way.
No, protruding is.
Right.
He's writing protruded.
Okay.
Hang on.
Is that the end of the chapter?
Almost. I guess
Okay.
we must be getting close to it.
Yeah.
The smell of farts protruded the entire area. It was stinky and not pleasant. Gee, stinky's a funny word. But the boys were in front of the door to the secret room. Only Michael, Rob, Derek, and Lockie were left. And what was on the other side of the door? They had no idea. This could be their last day on the earth.
Because they could die, I think.
On the earth. That's cool. They could die or get stuck in a fart cloud and become slaves to Mr. Charger's farts. And you tell me off when I get too sexual. That's horny. A fart slave.
I guess like so they could become
A fart.
engulfed in a fart cloud.
I imagine it's like a Zorb ball, but with farts.
Yeah.
So do they just exist the rest of their life in like a fart cloud, and they're like,
And they're a slave.
No,
You
they'd be
must
like,
always
they're just pissing themselves.
yeah, no, but it's a
laughing.
bit of like, oh, it's
Yeah.
that over and
Yeah.
over. That's a torturous life.
sad laugh.
Yeah.
Life of a fart slave. This is the final paragraph of the chapter. They could die or get stuck in a fart cloud and become slaves to Mr. Charge's farts. Unpetrificus totalis, yelled Rob.
So to break Petrificus totalis, it's just unpetrificus.
Yep. Oh, redo that.
Oh, Wingardium Leviosa, Wingardium Leviosa. It just sinks it back.
Command Z.
Avada Kedavra.
Command Z Expelliarmus. It's just redoing it.
Yeah.
Unpetrificus totalis, yelled Rob, aiming his wand at Lockie. He was back to normal. The boys moved on. Lockie and Rob were supporting Michael as Derek sung what he called a sad song.
Is that it?
That's it. And then, guys, a bit of a tease the next episode, chapter 23, The Man with No Anus.
And this confirms my theory, because one of the last chapters of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone is the man with two faces. That's like a direct.
Oh, so you're reading the chapter and then writing your book.
I guess so, because the first chapter of this was called The Letters from Someone, and the second chapter of Philosopher's Stone is The Letters from No One. Oh no,
Right.
yeah. And then the last chapter of Philosopher's Stone is The Man with Two
Definitely
Faces.
some parallels between
Yeah.
the two books.
Because it's Professor Quirrell with Voldemort and he's back, the man with two faces. And this chapter is called The Man with No Anus.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to predict the story, but I feel like someone's not going to be... Does that mean someone gets proven that they aren't associated with the dark farts because they don't have an anus? Is that where it's
Dude,
going to go?
I have a theory about
What?
this book. Okay,
Yeah.
The Man with No Anus. There's going to be a man who has no ass, right? Okay, obviously. That's
Yeah.
obvious, right? But everyone's going, man, that's the man with no anus. But then he's going to take his turban off and it'll turn out
be an
his ass is on the back of his head instead of Voldemort.
Do
and then
you
it will do
think-
the stinkiest, most
No.
hilariously smelling
I
fart.
think I know what's going to happen.
Is he close? That's not where your
You're
brain went?
close, but like I'd think, considering that this book is trying to mirror
Yeah.
exactly
Stone.
Philosopher's Stone, like,
He's going to find an ass in his pocket?
well, I would.
He'll put his finger in his
my
pocket and he goes,
theory
"Well, that
from I think that he's, instead of having an anus,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
he has a
Voldemort's planted himself on it.
That's better.
That's what I would say.
Oh, the
probably.
then where
reverse
did his ass
switcheroo.
go?
Yeah.
So
I
is,
don't know.
on
is
Voldemort's
Voldemort in this one?
Well, here's what I'm thinking now.
Is Mr. Charge of the bad guy?
Yeah.
Mr. Charge is like Quirrell.
Yeah, but earlier in the book, there was a chapter in which they caught Mr. Charger talking to someone in a room with his pants down, and then suddenly he pulled his
Oh, so
pants
it's on
back
his
up.
ass.
This has gotten a lot hornier, this book, since the start.
And
That's my
also,
influence.
Mr. Charger mentioned to
think so.
Boris. Mr. Charger mentioned to Boris Mailman in an email that he's not sure about this little arrangement that Voldemort has going with him. So, I actually think that it's possible that Voldemort's face is on Mr. Charger's ass.
Easier to hide, but definitely a worse place to be.
But is his mouth the bum hole? And then if Mr. Charger poos, does he does Voldemort just go,
Like that South Park episode.
yeah.
Because Voldemort doesn't have a nose. There's no like
He
obvious
can't smell it.
asshole area. I guess
Yeah.
the asshole is the mouth. There's two little slits in the nose.
Yeah. So there you go. Thanks for doing this, guys. Where do you think it's going?
Oh man, he just said.
That's what you think?
He already said.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I don't know. Where do you think it's
and
going?
then you pretty much told us. So I guess that's.
Well, I'm not sure. That's what I would assume.
Yeah. What would you assume?
That
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry. Pointless question.
I think either way, it's going to be a thrilling conclusion.
we're up to the last 3 chapters now. So
I'm really excited in a few years to find out if your writing ability improves at all. Because at the moment
me
it's not very
too.
good, but you're a full on child.
Yeah.
You know?
How old were you when you wrote this?
12, 13 or 12 or 13.
And how long did it take you to smash out the 7 books?
I think it was over 2 years of
Prodigy.
school, of high school or so.
So you were doing this in like year 8, year 9.
Yeah. I was reading Morris Gleitzman's Toad Heaven in year 9. Do you remember those books? They were good.
I know his name.
All right. Well, guys, that's it for Harry Potter and the Boys for this week.
Yeah.
Oh, why didn't that sound effect play?
The listeners will have heard it.
Oh, okay,
Come through
cool.
the speakers.
Thank you for joining the Luke and Lewis podcast. Is Tuesdays and Thursdays. Good fun on that pod. And go and check out the boys' main channels and their websites for their shows, their comedy shows. And what are you playing with there, Lewis? Huh? And I will say subscribe to the YouTube channel for this, link in description, and follow me on Insta, radio.mike.
That's right.
Goodbye, Hamoras. Any final words, boys?